Middle of your work week, ladies and gentlemen, and you are locked and loaded on a Wednesday hump day on the hottest show in the streets, the best form, number one form of Alabama football news, notes, and information on the block. That being in my own words with yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Excited, happy to have each and every last one of you tuned in on today as we bring you the show from Tuscaloosa, streaming this to you via YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, go ahead right now, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications so that you can have the best in updates, news, notes, analysis on your Crimson Tide. Also, drop that thumbs up, drop the like on the show as well. And as always, I'm joined here by the man with the plan, the man, the myth, the bona fide legend in the production studio. We got the man, John Ivory. John, it's Wednesday. We got a rocking show prepared, man. But first off, how are you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Roll Tide. Shout out to the chat. Let's light the chat up and share the show. We got a great show for y'all once again, and I'm excited. Get it.
Absolutely excited, and as John mentioned, wanting you to be a part of the conversation, recreating the topics or recreating the energy that we had on Monday. You guys did a phenomenal job Monday as we had about 102 people in the chat. So this is your show. We want your thoughts, your opinions, your viewpoints, and you can do this by calling 205-448-1358. The number again, 205-448-1358, and one more time, 205-448-1358, to let your voice be heard on the show. A little bit later, we will be joined, by former Alabama wide receiver Matt Caddell. It's always a joy to get his expertise and thoughts on Crimson Tide football. But we start off here with an update as that transfer portal, the NCAA transfer portal, in terms of Alabama players, getting a little bit bigger here. The 10th name added to the mix was Derrick Thomas, the four-star receiver from Tanner High School in Alabama. He came to the 2017 class with Tua Tagovailoa, Najee Harris, Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs III, and one Terrell Shavers. So, Derrick Thomas in the portal, a young man that had a tremendous high school career at Alabama. Coach Saban has had him play at running back, at receiver, at defensive back. Never really got a chance to kind of just settle in, grow, and learn one position. Kind of fluctuated everywhere, but decided to put his name in the transfer portal on Tuesday. And it's kind of a disappointment just seeing how, I remember on Monday's show, John, we had a caller to come in, and there was a guy, the name is Sean. It was a guy that had worked with, Towson in his youth league, and really wanted to see the young man be something, huge and productive for the Tide in this upcoming season. Unfortunately, Towson puts his name in the portal, so we definitely wish the best for him at this point. With 10 guys that have gone into the portal, 5 of those guys, scholarship guys, Taulia Tagovailoa, Terrell Shavers, Scott Lashley, Nigel Knott, and also Jerome Ford finding new homes in college football. So at this point, the Crimson Tide is officially at the 85-man scholarship roster that it's needed to be at for the NCAA. But just a little news there on Towson in the portal. But as we get into topic number one of conversation, people, there's a huge myth in college football. Better yet, it's gone from being a myth to a misconception. The biggest misconception in college football when you discuss the University of Alabama is Bama doesn't play true freshmen. There are a lot of opposing coaches, teams, programs, fan bases, but opposing, teams and coaches that when they go on these recruiting visits to scout out these athletes, visit these young players at home, or have the players on campus, or how they do it. When they go to recruit, an athlete, a lot of these coaches, they look at them and they go, you don't want to go to Alabama. Why you want to go to Bama? You're not going to play. You're not going to see the field. You're not going to get action. They're loaded with 4 and 5 stars, littered with 4 and 5 stars. What make you think they want you? They don't love you. They don't value you. They don't care about you. You're just a number to them. They're going to make you sit the bench. You're probably not going to play to your junior, senior year, and by that time, you're probably washed up. And by that time, you're probably so buried on the depth chart to where the transfer portal's your only hope. Come to us. Come here. We love you. We value you. We care about you. You don't want to go to Bama? You don't want to go there. They ain't studying you. They're not concerned about your talent is going to be wasted at Alabama. This is what a lot of these coaches tell a lot of these young athletes. Biggest misconception: Alabama doesn't play true freshmen. Well, Jeff Banks, Alabama's special teams coordinator and tight ends coach, he got tired of this, right? So he dropped the most savage of tweets on social media on Tuesday, and the tweet he dropped was a graphic. He was literally saying, I'm tired of hearing that here at Alabama we don't play true freshmen. I'm tired of hearing at Alabama that we don't start true freshmen. I'm tired of hearing that we don't value the young guys. So let me drop this knowledge bomb on everybody. This is coming from the mindset of Jeff Banks. So he released this graphic on Twitter, and the graphic highlighted 9 true freshman starters last season, 25 true freshmen at all that got a chance to play. So the 9 true freshman starters, it was Christian Harris at inside linebacker, Shane Lee at inside linebacker, DJ Dale on the defensive line, Byron Young on the defensive line, Justin Boygby on the defensive line, Jordan Battle at safety, Evan Neal on the offensive line, Ty Pirine, punter, and Will Reichert as the kicker. Those were the 9 starters for Alabama as freshmen. 25 players played in all, this past season as, first-year guys. And these were 25 players and 9 that started that played in a year where widely it's regarded as a down year. It's regarded as a disappointing year. Alabama didn't win the Southeastern Conference title. It did not compete for the college football playoff. Didn't get in. Did not contend for a national championship. And so when those goals, when those aspirations are not met with, the fan base typically goes, well, this was a bad year. This was a down year. This was a major, disappointing year. So, and what's looked at as a bad year, and what's looked at as a disappointing year, and what's looked at as a tragic year or rebuilding year, 25 freshmen still saw the field. 9 of them started in 2019, and each and every game that's this past season, those freshmen got better. DJ Dale got better despite the injuries. Jordan Battle got better. Shane Lee had some good moments. Christian Harris got better. Justin Boygby got better. Byron Young got better. Keegan Robinson, in terms of offense, had 2 of the longest touchdown runs by a running back a season ago. John Mechie made big plays. Pierce Quick got in there on the offensive line. So did Darian Dalcourt. So this entire freshman class, game by game, week by week, they got better, and they're going to be better for the experience. But what's awesome is how the assistant coaches jumped on board with Jeff Banks co-signing what he talked about. And you looked at, offensive line coach Kyle Flood saying, speak it. Charles Huff, the running backs coach, got involved. Also, offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian got involved. So you're seeing the camaraderie within the coaching staff as everybody's kind of tired of this giant misconception of, well, Bama don't play true freshmen. Bama don't play young guys. Bama don't respect the young guys. You got to sit the bench and wait your turn, and tree trunks will be growing from your feet as you're sitting on the bench because they're not going to play you to your junior, senior year, which is absolutely not true. And the crazy part is, going back 2 years prior to this past season, this was 2017, Alabama signed a very star-studded freshman class in 2017. This class was top-rated across the board, a bunch of five-star athletes in that class, and at least 6 players, it probably was more, but at least 6 players from that 2017 team were on the field, that 2017 class, were on the field for the college football playoff national championship game against Georgia. And all 6 of these guys had a major impact in that game. Tua Tagovailoa was on the field, 3 touchdowns, including the game winner. Najee Harris got in action. Alex Leatherwood fielding admirably for an injured Jonah Williams, protecting Tua Tagovailoa at that left tackle position. Jerry Jeudy got involved. Henry Ruggs III started the comeback with a touchdown reception from Tua. And then, of course, Devontae Smith at the end, the game-winning score on 2nd and 26. 6 true freshmen off that 2017 class played a major role in that title game. Over Bama don't play freshmen now. So, even more deeper than that, if you go 2 years prior to 2017, the 2015 season, which had another star-studded class, another top-ranked group, another unit that had quite a few 5 stars on there, and at least 4 players, it was probably more, but at least 4 players had a major impact on that team as freshmen for a national championship. When you discuss Calvin Ridley at wide receiver, who had a 1,000-yard season that year. Minkah Fitzpatrick was a freshman All-American in the secondary, 2 pick-sixes. Ronnie Harrison, who started at safety, had 2 interceptions that year. And Deron Payne anchored the middle of the defensive line at nose tackle. All 4 of those guys, big, huge impacts as freshmen. But Alabama, they don't play freshmen. Nick Saban don't believe in playing a freshman. Nick don't believe in putting no young bucks out there. No, that's a lie. Come over here to us. We believe in the freshmen. We believe in them babies. Come over here. Nick believes in playing freshmen. It's even deeper than that, folks. Since 2008, as we're going to this slide right here, since 2008, Nick has been known for playing freshmen, whether it's starting Julio Jones, playing Mark Ingram, playing Mark Barron, playing Donta Hightower, playing Courtney Upshaw, starting guys like Amari Cooper, starting Trent Richardson, playing guys like Landon Collins, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Hurts. I mean, the list goes on. Jonah Williams. Nick Saban believes in playing true freshmen. Nick Saban's mantra has been since 2008, if these guys can play winning football, whomever puts us in the best position to play winning football, we're putting that type of individual, we're putting that player, that guy on the field. There is a slogan that the university has adopted, and the slogan is, "Welcome to the University of Alabama, where legends are made." That's the slogan. And if the legend is a freshman, so be it. Bama is putting the freshman on the field. Saban has never shied away from playing true freshmen. I mean, why do you think Terrell Shavers is in the portal right now? Well, why do you think Terrell Shavers is no longer with the team right now? Well, he's all he has to deal with John Mechie and Slade Bolden and Xavier Williams. Now here comes Javon Baker, who's about that business. He's like, I don't got time to deal with all of this. I mean, why do you think Markel Benton's in the portal? He already had to deal with Dylan Moses and Christian Harris and Shane Lee and Joshua McMillan and Jalen Moody and Alakaho. Now you got to deal with Demoy Kennedy and Jackson Bratton. And I understand Bryce Young's decision to come to Alabama. It was not the sole reason why Talia Tagovailoa chose to go elsewhere, but it did leave a big impact, though, because, in Talia's mind, it's okay. All I got to do is continue to keep my foot on Paul Tyson's neck and just beat out, Mac Jones, I'm a starting quarterback. Now, here comes Bryce Young, and what am I going to do now? Here comes Bryce Young. So that did play a pretty significant role there. This 2020 freshman class is coming in here. They cutting up. They mean business. And with this class meshed in with Blue and Dr. Ray in terms of the sports performance team, Coach Saban is going to be looking to put more freshmen on the field again. So let's get ready for it. Let's get prepared for it. And this giant myth, this giant misconception, going with that. Alabama plays, Alabama starts 2 freshmen. If you big, if you bad, if you got the work ethic, Alabama, Coach Saban is going to put you on the field regardless of classification. We take a first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, folks. Just getting started. When we get back, we unpack your phone calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your questions, your concerns. Bring them in here after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Back into the conversation, folks, on a Wednesday. Hottest show on the streets here in my own words with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got the man John Ivory as well in the building. And it's your time, Bama Nation, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. Phone lines open, 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be heard one more time. That is 205-448-1358. And we check in as always with Waylon. It's Wednesday, brother man. How you feeling?
It's Wednesday at TDA. I'm feeling good today. What's going on down at TDA, Stephen?
Doing well, man. Just trying to do what Jeff Banks has been doing and dispelling this misconception of Alabama don't play freshmen. Going out here, you know good and well Nick Saban has never, in the history of him being at Alabama, has shied away from playing the young kids.
Now, he's played a lot of freshmen. Freshmen didn't used to play. Now they get the opportunity to go out there and play. So I don't know where they come up with that stuff at. I don't know. It's just they have a more opportunity, seem like, than the juniors and seniors nowadays. You know, we'll watch Mr. Paul Feinbaum today and get to listen to Mr. Sylvester Crooms and remember him and John Mitchell, John was the first African-American to sign at Alabama in 1972, and Mr. Croom was there in 72. We have to remember these people because they're the ones that laid down, like I always say, that smooth asphalt for these young guys to be able to come in here and play as freshmen and do their thing, Steve.
Absolutely. You got to pay homage to the old school. You really do, because they're the ones that came in and made, and like you mentioned, put the groundwork down and smoothed it over so that these young guys can come in here and have fun playing the position that they want to play. So you have to, as always, pay homage to the ones that kind of blaze that trail for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, All-American John was in 72, 125 tackles, 12 behind the line, 8 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. I mean, he was a force to reckon with. We talk about the defenses of today. He is one of the guys of the defenses of the past that has made the defenses of today the way as great as they are today, Stephen.
He did. He did a fantastic job. And from the offensive perspective, Sylvester Croom was one of the greatest offensive linemen to come through Alabama. Played center, took the coaching from Coach Bryan and really, anchored that front line. And when those guys looked at Coach Croom as a player, they knew with Coach Croom on this line, we're going to be able to run the football. We're going to be able to protect the quarterback because we know that Croom knows what he's doing at that center control there.
Exactly, and I hope everybody's doing well. He's a marvelous player there at Alabama. Went on to be a good coach at Mississippi State, Coach of the Year there, I think, in 2007. Then let go in 8 or 6 or 7-1. That was at Mississippi State. But hope everyone is doing well in the chat. And we'll do a little bit one. We'll do one here, Mr. Derrick Thomas. We throwed a few words together. We don't mean throw them together because we didn't like him. We loved Derrick Thomas. He was a marvelous athlete, probably the best athlete probably I've ever saw step on the field in Alabama and play defense.
Left us way too soon, Wayne, and left us way too soon.
Yeah, he left us way too soon. I don't know what this man would have done in the NFL if he would have been able to have stayed there. And what he done at Alabama was unreal. You know, the only player that I can put back, can get close to him now that would be Henry Ruggs. You know, the athlete he is. So we'll get out of here. Hope everybody's doing good. And like I said in the chat, we'll see everybody again on Friday if the good Lord's willing. And we throw these few words together as they came pretty quick about Mr. Thomas. We'll end it like this. There was a man on the outside. It was number 55. His teammates loved him. Quarterbacks ran to stay alive. With 52 sacks in a 3-year time, he made college football history in his prime. On to the NFL he would go. 10 sacks, 75 tackles in 1989. He was the Rookie of the Year for the first time. He was 6'3", 243, 7 sacks. 7 sacks against Seattle brought them to their knees. He was a 3-time All-Pro in the NFL. There's no more to this story I need to tell. All right, everybody, stay safe. We'll see everyone on Friday. See you later, Stephen. Bye-bye.
Appreciate that, Wagon. Great poem there in honor of the great, but the great also Derrick Thomas, and the guy that definitely went way too soon. Would have loved to have seen what he would have been able to do fully healthy, and not just fully healthy, but just around the NFL. But we go to a pretty intriguing topic here, as Wagon brought up. Paul Feinbaum of ESPN was on the show Get Up earlier today and had a pretty interesting statement. He talked about how the time is running out on Nick Saban trying to get that 7th national championship to surpass the legendary Paul Bear Bryant. He talked about the window of Saban's championship is closing. The time is running out. Everybody's caught up to Coach Saban. Don't think he'll be able to get it. And just a lot of pot stirring going around. And for you, the Alabama football fan base, I kind of want to get your thoughts here. And I know some people don't really care about what Paul has to say at times, but this is interesting because do you see the window expiring? Do you see the window closing? Do you see time kind of running out here on Nick Saban? Because I don't. I know Paul mentioned how it's been 2 years since Alabama's won a national championship. 2 years is a long time. We've never really seen this happen where Bama went 2 years without a natty, but this has happened before. 2013 and 2014. Alabama went 2 years, no national championship, and then they got one in 2015. Or how about this? 2007, 2008, Nick Saban, no national championship, and in the third year, 2009, he cracks the door down and gets to the crystal ball of a title. So history always has a way to repeat itself. It's always kind of been that third year for Nick Saban to where that national title gets won, with the exception of him going, back-to-back in 2011 and 2012, or with the exception of, him not winning in 2016, despite how awesome that defense was, but Alabama winning in 2017. So more times than not, it's been the third year Nick Saban gets the guys bought in, everybody gets their chin straps buckled, their shoes strapped, their mentality on point, and they get out there and they play hard and they play to win, a national championship. John, let me ask you. Coach Saban, John, is 68 years old. I know he's up there in age, but still in the best health of his life right now, and praying that he continues in strong health. But do you see the window closing, John?
No, Coach Saban can coach until he's 250 years old. It doesn't matter. As long as he has a cream pie every morning, he'll be all right.
John Ivory put it down, folks. As long as he has a cream pie, he'll be good. Coach till he's 250 years old. Going back to something I was told, from a close source a while back, that Saban was visiting one of the guys in the 2021 class down there in Florida. He went to the young man's home and he sat down with the young man and his family, and he brought up, Bobby Bowden of whom coached at Florida State until he was 82 years old. And Saban mentioned, you know what, I'm looking to smash that number. So if Coach Saban is looking to coach past the year 82 of age, then we're about to see something really, really outstanding here, starting this season and going on to the years to come. When you look at Coach Saban and Alabama football, he is not done with winning championships. He is not done with producing, young men to high honors. He's not done with helping young men get degrees. Most importantly, he is not done with taking, these young men and pushing them to the NFL draft, as he's done so eloquently throughout his career. But just a little thought there, Feinbaum always likes to stir the pot in terms of the SEC and Alabama. But fans, 205-448-1358, I want to get your thought on this. Do you feel like the window's closing? I mean, do you feel like time is running out on Coach Saban in terms of winning that 7th national championship to surpass the legendary Bear Bryant? But we take another break here on the show. Don't touch that dial here, folks. When we get back, we will sit down with my main man, former Alabama wide receiver Matt Caddell. We're talking Crimson Tide football. Hang in tight, folks. We'll be back after this.
If you want delicious home-style cooking, sushi, and hibachi, check out Otoro Hibachi in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. At home and you can't get away from the TV because the Crimson Tide is about to score? Don't worry. Delivery is also available through Waitr and Crimson2go. That's Otoro Hibachi in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And make sure you let them know the good folks at Touchdown Alabama sent you. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month, or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
We are in from the break, folks, on the best form of Crimson Tide football news, notes, and information you will find anywhere on a Wednesday hump day. In my own words, with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And we go to right now the In My Own Words hotline, as we do every Wednesday, and picking up former Alabama wide receiver Matt Caddell, played from 2003 to 2007. Matt, what's going on, man? Are you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's get it started.
Let's get this thing popping then, my man. So we're starting to see, another name, or we saw another name hit the transfer portal, that being one, Chadarius Towson, the 4-star out of Tanner High School here in Alabama, came in that 2017 class, so he would make the 10th name since the end of the 2019 season to hit the portal. So, I mean, what does this tell you, Matt, about this 2020 class? Is this 2020 class coming in hot, coming in serious, coming in cutting up, or what? Because, I mean, with the Bryce Youngs in here, with the Javon Bakers in here, with other names in here, it seems like they are really pressing not just to get on the field, but to really bring this team a national championship.
Yeah, they're really bringing that pressure, that energy. Like I said, I think Coach Saban with this class recruited a lot of high character guys, a lot of winners, a lot of guys who have the championship caliber DNA. And I think once they signed on the dotted line, I think having them on campus really puts pressure on the Alabama team. I think it's going to benefit our team as a whole to really get the best out of all our players, be great teammates, and get Bama back to where they need to be on a championship level.
Now, Javon Baker, the true freshman receiver out of Georgia, he dropped a tweet on yesterday, Matt, basically saying if you don't want to come to Alabama or if you choose not to come to the University of Alabama, then you don't want to win. It's just that simple. And despite the fact that, other teams have gotten better, other schools have gotten better, other programs have gotten better, for a freshman to drop this type of information or tweet or statement to the rest of the world, recruits, players, what have you, what does that say about not only Javon Baker, but what does that say about the University of Alabama, where you got a young man, very passionate, saying, if you're not trying to come to Alabama, if you're not trying to learn from Coach Saban, then you obviously don't want to win?
Yeah, it speaks a lot. It speaks a lot to the type of character guys that end up signing with Alabama. You kind of have to be cut from a different type of cloth almost. You have to have that winner mindset no matter who's in front of you in the roster. I'm an ultimate competitor. I'm relentless. I'm doing whatever I can to be successful on the field, and I'm going to push guys around me in the room. And a lot of players, whether it's recruits or whoever, maybe don't want to deal with that. But, to be at Alabama, you have to be a certain type of competitor, have a certain type of tenacity and focus to really come to Alabama and push everybody to win.
Folks, we're live here on the phone lines on a Wednesday, in my own words, with yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. We got former Alabama wide receiver Matt Caddell, played from 2003 to 07, if you're just tuning in to the show. And Matt, so we look at a few or a couple of 1 to 2 kind of unsung hero type players, one on offense and one on defense. Guys that, not many people talk about, not many people look at. We know the headline names, we know the marquee guys, but you always have to have those role players step up, feeling their responsibilities if you're trying to win, a championship. So who could be a defensive unsung hero to you that could come out of nowhere and blow people away?
I'm going to go with Jordan Battle. He might not be unsung. I think a lot of people know about him having such an exceptional year as his freshman year at safety. But I think with him having that year of experience, being consistent, coming in his second year, is going to play with so much confidence and really be able to open up what we want to do on the back end defensively, whether it's coverages, blitzes, personnel. He's an exceptional tackler. He's physical, but he can cover at the same time, and I think he's going to be the next big-time safety for us at Alabama.
Well, that being defense, so Matt, offensively, I know you are huge on Bryce Young. When you and I have both talked, you have been huge on this young man, a quarterback out of California. But in terms of guys that not many people look at, not many people are hipped on that particular player, offensively, who's the unsung hero here?
For me, I'm going to say Slade Bolden. I think a lot of teams are going to be focusing on, how can I stop Devontae Smith? How can I stop Jalen Waddle? How can I stop Najee, et cetera? And, Slade Bolden, he comes in, he can do so much. You don't know what he's going to do. He can line up at the Wildcat. He can, if it's 4th and 1, he can get us that yard. He can kind of go under the radar where teams are focusing on so many other guys, but we can have special game plans for him to really expose defenses and move the ball down the field and get in the end zone.
Folks, if you're just tuning into the show here on the line, we have former Alabama wide receiver Matt Caddell, who played from 2003 to 07, talking Crimson Tide football with him right now. And Matt, we look at who would kind of represent the Barry Cross here as we kind of end our Bama's Last Dance here, taking it from the Chicago Bulls Last Dance documentary. Who would kind of represent, Jerry Krause, getting the Alabama and the Chicago Bulls mixed up here. So who would represent Alabama's version of Jerry Krause, the general manager who played for the Bulls, who put all of those championship teams together? Was he respected? At times, yes. At times, no. But he had a job job to do, and he did it quite well for the most part. So who would represent Krause in terms of Alabama football?
I think it would be Scott Cochran. They both were part of dynasties, both helped build championships, win championships. Coach Cochran was with Coach Saban from day one, really helping in the strength and conditioning program. But, Jerry Krause wanted to go in another direction with the Bulls roster. And I believe towards the end, Coach Cochran wanted to go in another direction in regards to, coaching opportunities, what he wanted to do. And he ended up, as we all know, leaving Alabama to go to Georgia to be a special teams coordinator. And so they kind of left a little bit, I guess, bad blood between Alabama and Georgia, even more so. So I think that would be my choice for Alabama's version of Jerry Krause.
It'll be an interesting matchup on September 19th between Alabama and Georgia at Bryant-Denny Stadium this season. Just all the familiar faces on one field facing each other. But on Monday, Matt, it was the first day of in-person voluntary workouts for the Crimson Tide. And these players, whether it was Brian Robinson or Byron Young or Brandon Ingram, folks kept tweeting out, left and right about the job that David Ballou and Dr. Matt Ray are doing in infusing the swagger, infusing the energy, infusing the passion, the excitement, the quality characteristics that make the Bama Factor what it is. If you got a chance to hear any of these comments from the players, how excited are you about the change, having these two, new guys in here and what they're already bringing to the program?
Yeah, I'm very excited just as the players. I just think they're going to bring, new cutting edge, innovative conditioning program for Alabama that will make our players better conditioned, more of a scientific approach to go well along with our medical staff, Jeff Allen. I think it's going to be more, instead of like what Alabama's been used to when I was there, I think it's going to be more of a position focus, which develops, exceptional speed, agility, strength, quickness, and the big thing is injury prevention. And I think it's going to with their training regime, it's going to maximize their skill set, and we're going to have peak performances on Saturdays from the Crimson Tide players.
Going to be fun, exciting to watch what these two do, especially with the Tide Nation wanting to make sure no season-ending injuries this upcoming campaign here. Well, he's Matt Caddell, ladies and gentlemen, always graciously joining us live every Wednesday to break down Crimson Tide football. Former Alabama receiver from 2003 to 2007. He was one of the guys that helped lay down the building blocks, the foundation for what we have seen Bama football become under Nick Saban, a five-time national championship program. Matt, as always, we appreciate you, man, for bringing on your insight, your expertise into the world of Crimson Tide football. You continue to stay safe, man. Be good.
You do the same, and as always, roll Tide.
Always great having Matt Caddell on the show. We take another break here on the network, but don't touch that dial, folks. We're unpacking more of your questions, your thoughts, your tweets, your text messages. 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you as we return to In My Own Words.
T-Town Menswear in the University Mall in Tuscaloosa. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Back into the action, folks, in my own words with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. As always, got the man John Ivory in here as well. And, folks, it's your time, 205-448-1358. Phone lines open, 205-448-1358. The number to call in to voice your opinion, your thoughts. What are you feeling today when we talk Alabama football? And also, if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you can have the best news, notes, alerts, updates on your Crimson Tide. Also, give a thumbs up, a like on the show as well. But as you're getting your thoughts together here, Terrell Shavers, former Alabama wide receiver, did find a new home. He entered his name into the transfer portal and very quickly got picked up as he is now the latest member of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. So he remains in the SEC West, joining forces with KJ Costello and head coach Mike Leach with the Bulldogs over there in Starkville. So it's going to be interesting how Shavers will take on Alabama this season. The Mississippi State will travel down Highway 82 to Bryant-Denny to face the Crimson Tide. So after Shavers caught one pass for 20 yards a season ago with Western Carolina, the young man at 6'6", 210 pounds, 220 pounds now, but he will have an opportunity to, get on the field and do some things for the Bulldogs, hopefully. Now, he's kind of a poor man's version of De'Runnya Wilson. They used to have De'Runnya Bear Wilson. God rest his soul. Young man passed away recently, but it's kind of what Shavers would remind Mississippi State players of, is Mississippi State fans of, as one De'Runnya Wilson, but just sort of having that thought there on Shavers. But getting back to the training staff of Blue and Ray and the job that those two have been doing, Javon Cohan, the four-star offensive lineman in the 2020 class, the young man listed at 6'3" and 280 pounds out of Central High School in Phoenix City, here in Alabama. Cohan, the offensive line, they got a chance to work out on Tuesday as each position group is practicing social distancing. They're not allowing everybody to work out in the facility at one time. So at one hour, you would have one position group come in and work out. They'll leave. During the next hour or so, another positioning group will come in. And for the next positioning group, they're spacing people out. They're spacing players out. They're spacing positional units out. So that's a good thing on behalf of the sports performance team there. But Cohan tweeted out on Tuesday about how these two guys, Blue and Ray, not playing around, not joking around, meaning all business for this upcoming season, echoing the thoughts and sentiments that Brian Robinson put out there, Byron Young put out there, and Brandon Ingram put out there on Monday. So these guys fully bought into the energy, fully bought into the instruction, fully bought into the change that is going on within the program. And once again, for those of you that don't know, this time is geared toward the players having hands-on experience with the sports performance with the strength and conditioning staff prior to June 1st, which was the first day that the NCAA allowed for student athletes in football, men's basketball, and women's basketball to return to campuses. And then also June 8th, which was the first day to where the SEC is allowing for these in-person workouts throughout the spring. Thus far, the conditioning staff at Alabama, they sent these players banned workouts. They sent them exercises to their iPhones, to their iPads, to their Apple Watches, so that in their own spare time, whether it's at home, whether it's at a high school facility, whether it's at a YMCA, just different buildings where the players they can go and work out and get that time in. They got their assigned workouts on the phone, the Apple Watch, and the iPad. So now, with the players being able to face-to-face, in person, hands-on work with Blue and Ray, they're getting the opportunity to see firsthand what both coaches will require from all the players, what the players are going to be required to do, out of themselves, and putting in the effort and maxing out the reps, but not tiring themselves out and trying to hit their speed goal and trying to hit their target, weightlifting goal, squatting goal, 110 goal, whatever they're doing inside the program, hitting that goal, doing it efficiently and effectively, because the main thing that Blue and Ray are trying to do is they want each player to be able to sustain 4 quarters, right? The same energy you have in the first quarter, have that same energy in the fourth quarter. The same intensity, the same keen to detail, the same fight that you have in the first quarter, being able to carry that to the final period and being the aggressor, being the enforcer, imposing your will, being in the opposing team's grill every single time. David Ballou is a proponent of, he's like, I don't care if you can squat 700 pounds. I don't care if you can bench press 500, 600 pounds. It doesn't matter to me. If you can bench press this, but if it's not helping you sustain at the point of attack and at the highest level every single play, then there's no need to do that exercise. I would much rather have you bench press 300 pounds and be able to have that sustained energy throughout the duration of a game. I would rather you be able to squat less weight, but have the same quickness, have the same get off, have the same explosiveness, have the same activity and energy toward the football throughout the duration of a game. So that's the main focus that both guys are putting into these players. It doesn't matter what you can bench press. It doesn't matter what you can squat. It means nothing where if we're calling on you to be on that field in the fourth quarter and you're tired, gasping for air, wondering where the towel in the bottle of Gatorade is. If you're wondering where the towel in the bottle of Gatorade is in the fourth quarter, then that particular exercise is not helping you. We want to make sure that we're getting you the exercises that are going to help you sustain throughout the matchup, throughout the contest, and throughout the season. But this takes us to another break here on the show. But folks, upon our return, we tackle defensive unsung heroes. Who could be some guys that could pop out of nowhere? We know who the stars are. We know who the heavy hitters are. We know who the marquee guys are. But who could be some unsung guys that could hit us like a frying pan and have us go, where did he come from? We'll touch those guys right after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
How we feeling, Bama Nation, on this Wednesday hump day? You are locked and loaded onto the hottest show in the streets. When you look at Alabama football talk, in my own words, with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, and we get into some defensive unsung heroes for the upcoming season. As I mentioned before, we already know who the stars are. We know Dylan Moses is going to be an impact guy. We know DJ Dale is going to be an impact guy. We know Christian Barmore is going to be an impact guy. We know Joshua McMillan. We know, Shane Lee is going to do a little something. We know Jordan Battle and Daniel Wright, Patrick Surtain II. We kind of know who the impact guys are on defense. We know the guys that we have to circle and highlight and underline and draw a star by, because we know what those guys have meant to this particular program. But as always, The national championship teams under Nick Saban here at the Capstone have also had those guys that came out of nowhere. Players that, we saw little to none of, and you're like, well, who is that guy? Don't really know much about him. Talk to me about this guy. It's the players that were kind of, scrambling through the roster trying to find out, where did this guy come from? Was he a 4-star or 5-star? What class did he come in? Those unsung heroes that people just don't know much about. How many of those guys can we see pop? How many of those guys can we see, come out of nowhere and really make a profound impact on this team, winning a national championship, on this team getting Coach Saban number 7 to eclipse the Bear, getting this program number 18 in its history. So I pulled out 5. I pulled out 5, particular unsung heroes that keep your eyes on. Expect these guys to pop here in the upcoming season. So here we go here, folks. Stevens 5 defensive unsung heroes. Number 1, Brandon Alakaho at linebacker. This is Caho's year. With Markel Benton in the portal, Caho will be the starter in that dime package. He'll be the starting dime linebacker. He will also get some work in Alabama's nickel defense. And this is a guy we all know this past season he exploded on special teams, blew up the shield, blocked 2 punts, could have recovered both for touchdowns, but recovered 1 for a score. And a guy that came in late in the 2018 class out of Nevada, Alabama flipped him from Washington, was a big part of helping the Crimson Tide have a top 5 signing class for 2018. He's got the physical build of a C.J. Mosley. Mosley played at 6'1", 6'2", 234 pounds at Alabama. Caho at 6'1", 228, so around that same physical build. He was highly frustrated after the loss to LSU this past season. You saw how the LSU players went into the stands at Bryant-Denny and trying to flip for 2020 players to, leave, the Crimson Tide. And, of course, Caho went on Twitter and was like, LSU, we finna run this mess back. I'm looking forward to going down there and facing y'all this year. So he said that, really adamant about beating LSU at Tiger Stadium and then when Scott Cochran made the decision to go from Alabama to Georgia. He goes on social media again, tweeting out that September 19th is going to hit so different this year. So mentally, Caho is already in the frame of mind of this is going to be my year. And I'm going to make this my year. I'm going to make it my business for this to be my year. So number 1 out the gate, folks, keep your eyes on Brandon Alakaho. He is going to pop as an unsung hero type player. So number 2, give me King Wakuda. And I brought him up last week or couple of shows back. Brought him up on the show. And for Wakuda here, he was a quick, twitchy edge guy out of Georgia in the 2019 class. And to start that season worth of practices, Sal Sunseri did a lot of yelling. Sal Sunseri did a lot of hard-nosed, tough coaching, in-your-face type coaching. But that hard-nosed, tough yelling for King from the middle of the season, the week of LSU, throughout the remainder of the year, it became affirmation and confirmation. Like, Coach Sal got on King, but then he would come back and say things like, that was your best rep all week. That was your best rep all practice. That was your best rep all season. You're starting to cut the high school mess off. You're starting to do what I'm telling you to do. You're going to be big. You're going to be big time. You're going to be solid. Like, he would always come back and sort of reaffirm, reestablish Wakuda as we love you, man. You're going to be something big here. And it's kind of like, remember Derrick Thomas. Derrick Thomas came to Alabama in the mid to late 1980s, 1985 from, Miami. And, lost his father at a young age, didn't have that concrete father figure until he got to Of course, he had a couple of fatherly people in and out, but he didn't get the concrete father figure until he got to Alabama with Sylvester Croom. And people knew Derrick Thomas was going to be good, but you had to sort of push it out of him. And Alabama already had Cornelius Bennett on the roster as a defensive player, a guy that was a All-American, first-team All-SEC, record-setting type of dude, sacking the quarterback, making plays. Cornelius Bennett was larger than life. So Derrick Thomas comes in, and he has moments where he wants to transfer, but Sylvester Croom talked with them. He spoke with them. He spent time with them, and Coach Croom coached him hard, stayed on him, grilled him, but he always came back to reaffirm DT about, hey, we know you the man. We know you that beast. We know you that dude. We're just going to push every last bit of it out of you. We're going to stay on you, but we're going to always come back and reaffirm, hey, the moment you lock in, young man, nobody is going to be able to stop you. And that's how Croom treated Derrick Thomas, and this is exactly how Sal Sunseri is treating King Wakuda. He's pushing it all out of King because he knows this guy has got the potential to pop and really, really be something here. So number 2, keep your eyes on that outside linebacker position. King Wakuda has got some potential to play in that Terrell Lewis type of role in the upcoming year. Moving on down to number 3, give me Ronald Williams Jr., the JUCO from Hutchinson Community College, but he's originally out of Louisiana. The thing with Ronald Williams is how quickly, how efficiently, how effectively can he come in and lock down that other corner position opposite Josh Jobe, giving Alabama the freedom to put Patrick Surtain in that star position. And when I look at Williams, he kind of reminds me of 2 former Alabama corners, Anthony Averett and Levi Wallace, right? When you ask the Alabama fan base, when you think of players that come from New Jersey, the first thought that hits your mind instantly, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Old Bridge, New Jersey, St. Peter's Prep School, 5-star, came in, won the job in the nickel corner spot, had an illustrious, great, fantastic career first-round pick. Minkah Fitzpatrick is the first player to hit anyone's mind who's a Bama fan, college football fan, when you talk about players that come out of New Jersey. Well, prior to Minkah, in 2013, Anthony Averett came out of Woodbury, New Jersey. He was a lonely 4-star, almost 3-star. Not a lot of people talked about Averett. He was more so track player than football player. So he comes to Alabama in 2013. He redshirts his freshman year. Between his redshirt freshman year and his redshirt sophomore year, 2014, 2015, doesn't really play all that much. Doesn't get action until, his junior year as a starter in 2016, and the guy put on a show. 48 tackles, 8 pass breakups, 1 interception. He locked down the left side of the field. I mean, he was so good. Friends of mine, we used to call Anthony Averett Straps. We used to call him Straps because he was a shutdown corner, and fans were flipping over the roster going, who is he? Where did we get him from? Where did we get Anthony Averett from? Where did he come from? Like, where did we find him? Because people were not expecting Anthony Averett to pop, and he did. 2017, Levi Wallace popped, and this was a walk-on. This was a walk-on that got his scholarship in 2016. He came in 2014, but 2017, he started at that left corner spot, and he, 15 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown, and folks were going crazy trying to figure out how in the world was he on the bench all of his time. It was a walk-on. So Ronald Williams Jr. kind of reminds me of those 2 guys, how quickly and how effectively and efficiently could he come in and lock down that other corner spot. The 4th guy you look at here, it's Daniel Wright at safety. He has matured his body. He has matured his mind. He has learned from the likes of Deontay Thompson and Xavier McKinney and Ronnie Harrison, just so many guys that Daniel Wright has learned from. He has been through some injuries. He's had to learn the defense, but he's finally in a place where He's prepared. He's ready to lead. He's ready to take on responsibilities and be that guy. So number 4, got to pop. Keep your eyes on Daniel Wright. He's built like the Incredible Hulk now. And then last but not least, keep your eyes on Byron Young on the defensive line. I could have named any defensive lineman, but I chose Byron Young due to, this past season, 23 tackles. He had 13 tackles down the stretch of the year, had a sack, had a tackle for loss. He really popped toward the middle portion, throughout the end of the season. So also keep your eyes there on Byron Young. Just some names there that can be unsung heroes for this team. But folks, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on the Crimson Tide. It's simple. You get this by downloading the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You get this from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you've got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, whether it's iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, or iHeartRadio, we've got you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I will return on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. But until next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing those things to legitimately not be bored. Get those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, spending my own words.